Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every life when the mirror turns into a window, when what you once saw as an obstacle becomes a doorway. And in that instant, you realize something extraordinary. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Everything in your world begins with perception. The storm that one person curses, another sees as the rain that nourishes their garden. The delay you call a setback might actually be divine timing, protecting you from something you cannot yet see. Life does not change until you do. Let that sink in. None. Not one. Every resentment you hold is a chain around your own heart. When you cling to anger, you hand your peace over to the very thing you despise. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is freedom. It is saying, I will no longer give my energy to this pain. When you release resentment, you don't excuse what happened. You simply refuse to be imprisoned by it any longer. You rise lighter, freer, stronger. Your thoughts are not idle. They are the architects of your destiny. If you dwell in fear, your life will mirror fear. If you think in love, abundance, and gratitude, your world will echo those very things back to you. The universe rewards the open heart. When you stop clinging to how things must be, you make room for how things can be. Attachment is the anchor that keeps the ship from sailing. Openness is the wind that carries it to new shores. Stay curious. Stay teachable. Let life surprise you. The moment you loosen your grip on control, you invite miracles to unfold. There is a song within you that no one else can sing. A dream, a gift, a calling that was planted in your soul for a reason. The tragedy is not death itself. It is living a life so safe, so small, that your music never plays. The world is waiting for your melody. Play it boldly. Live it fully. Speak your truth. Love deeply. Give freely. Because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at truly do change. And in doing so, you become the change this world has been waiting for. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This simple yet profound truth holds the key to transformation in every area of life. The way we perceive the world determines the kind of experiences we attract, the emotions we feel, and the results we create. Two people can face the same situation, yet one finds hope while the other finds despair. The difference lies not in the situation itself, but in how it is seen. Perception is not passive, it is an active force that shapes our reality moment by moment. What we choose to focus on expands, and the meanings we attach to life events define how we experience them. When we look at challenges as burdens, life feels heavy and unfair. But when we see those same challenges as lessons or stepping stones, they become opportunities for growth. A problem is not inherently negative. It becomes negative when viewed through the lens of fear or limitation. The shift in perspective changes how we respond, and our response changes the outcome. Every event, no matter how difficult, carries within it the seed of something greater, but we can only see it when we look through eyes of understanding and faith instead of resistance and judgment. This principle applies to relationships, careers, health, and every other dimension of life. If you look at a person and focus only on their flaws, resentment will grow. But if you look for their goodness, compassion will emerge. When you look at your job and see only stress, your energy will drain. But if you choose to see it as a platform to serve, to learn, or to express your gifts, fulfillment will naturally follow. The external world mirrors the internal lens. Change the lens and the reflection transforms. The mind is a powerful projector, constantly casting its interpretations onto the screen of life. When filled with negativity, the world appears dark and hostile. When filled with gratitude and possibility, the same world radiates light. The outer experience is never separate from the inner state. What we perceive as reality is often just a reflection of our dominant thoughts and beliefs. This is why transformation always begins within, not outside. Changing how you look at things is not pretending that pain or struggle do not exist. It is choosing to see beyond them. It is about recognizing that every experience carries purpose, that every ending hides a new beginning, and that every challenge invites us to rise to a higher level of awareness. There are no justified resentments. This statement challenges one of the deepest habits of human nature, the tendency to hold on to anger, blame, and bitterness toward those who have hurt us. At first, it may seem unreasonable. After all, how could resentment not be justified when someone has lied, betrayed, or mistreated us? Yet the truth is that resentment harms the one who holds it far more than the one who caused it. It is like drinking poison and expecting another person to suffer. Resentment binds us to the past, chaining our hearts to pain that no longer serves any purpose. The longer we hold it, the heavier it becomes until it clouds our joy, poisons our relationships, and blocks the flow of peace in our lives. Every resentment is a form of self-imposed suffering. When we dwell on what someone has done, we relive the event repeatedly in our minds. The body responds as if it were happening all over again, releasing the same stress hormones, tightening the same muscles, and closing off the same parts of the heart. We become trapped in a cycle of emotional replay, unable to move forward. Forgiveness, then, is not about excusing the behavior or pretending the pain didn't happen. It is about choosing freedom over bondage. It is a conscious decision to stop letting another's actions control our present state of being. No matter how justified our anger may seem, it cannot coexist with peace. We may tell ourselves that holding on to resentment keeps us safe or strong, but in truth, it only keeps us stuck. The energy we waste in resentment could be used to create something healing and new. Forgiveness does not mean we condone injustice. It means we release its power over us. We let go not for their sake, but for our own. It is an act of spiritual maturity, a declaration that we value our inner peace more than our desire to be right. The mind often resists forgiveness because it wants fairness and control. But life itself is not always fair. By human standards, it is, however, always just in the sense that every experience offers growth if we are willing to see it. When we forgive, we break free from the emotional prison of the past and open ourselves to the present moment. It is in this freedom that healing begins and love returns to take the place of bitterness. Forgiveness becomes the path to peace, and peace becomes the reward of letting go. What you think is what you become. Every thought that crosses the mind plants a seed in the soil of your consciousness, and with time, those seeds grow into the reality you live. Thoughts are not invisible or meaningless. They are energetic forms that shape your emotions, decisions, and destiny. The person you are today is the result of the thoughts you nurtured yesterday, and the person you will become tomorrow depends on the thoughts you choose today. The mind is a powerful creative force that never stops working. Whether you use it consciously or unconsciously, it is always creating. When you fill it with fear, doubt, or limitation, it builds walls around your potential. When you fill it with faith, love, and purpose, it opens doors to new possibilities. The universe responds to the vibration of your thoughts. If your inner dialogue is filled with scarcity, you will perceive lack everywhere you go. If you focus on abundance and gratitude, you will attract opportunities that match that energy. Thoughts determine emotions, and emotions drive behavior. Repeated behavior shapes habits, and habits form character. That is why transformation always begins in the mind. You cannot live a positive, abundant life while maintaining a negative, fearful mindset. The outer world mirrors the inner world with perfect precision. Change your thoughts, and your life must change accordingly. Every belief you hold began as a thought that you accepted as true. Many of these thoughts were inherited from others. Parents, teachers, society. But once they take root, they act as filters that color every experience. If you believe you are limited, life will continue to show you reasons to prove it. If you believe you are capable and worthy, you will see evidence of that truth unfolding everywhere. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply follows the direction it is given. This is why affirmations, visualization, and gratitude are such powerful tools. They train the mind to focus on what you want to create instead of what you fear. Guarding your thoughts is one of the most important forms of self-care. Every day, countless ideas and influences enter your mind. Some uplift you, others drain you. It is your responsibility to choose which ones to keep and which ones to release. When you consciously fill your mind with positive, empowering, and loving thoughts, you begin to align with a higher frequency of life. The change may begin subtly, but over time it reshapes your identity, your relationships, and your destiny. You become what you consistently think about, because thought is the first creative act from which all things are born. Be open to everything and attached to nothing. This idea invites a way of living that is both free and deeply peaceful. Openness is the willingness to receive life as it comes without rigid expectations or resistance. It is the ability to listen, to learn, and to grow beyond what is familiar. Attachment, on the other hand, is the need to control outcomes, to cling to how things should be, or to possess what we fear losing. When we are attached, we suffer because the world will never conform perfectly to our desires. But when we cultivate openness, we move with life instead of against it, trusting that every experience has something to teach us. Being open to everything means saying yes to the flow of existence. It does not mean agreeing with everything or abandoning discernment. It means staying curious and willing to explore without judgment. Openness is the foundation of wisdom because it keeps the heart teachable. The closed mind says, I already know. The open mind says, I am willing to see differently. Growth happens only in the space of willingness. Life continually invites us to release old patterns, beliefs, and fears that keep us confined. When we resist, we feel stuck. When we open, we evolve. Attachment often disguises itself as love, ambition, or loyalty, but in truth it is fear. We cling to people, possessions, or identities because we are afraid of loss. Yet everything in the universe is in motion. Seasons change, relationships shift, and roles evolve. Trying to hold on tightly to what must naturally move on creates pain. Letting go is not about detachment from life, but about engaging with it without making any single outcome the condition for your happiness. True freedom lies in participating deeply in the world while remaining unattached to results. When you are open and unattached, life becomes lighter. You no longer need to control or manipulate circumstances to feel safe. You begin to trust that whatever unfolds is for your growth, even when it does not match your plans. The open heart accepts change as a teacher and uncertainty as part of the journey. It welcomes blessings and lessons alike with gratitude. From this state of openness, creativity flows naturally, relationships deepen, and inner peace expands. You stopped chasing happiness because you realized it was never lost. It simply waited for you to loosen your grip. To be open to everything and attached to nothing is to walk in harmony with the rhythm of life itself, allowing the divine order of things to reveal its beauty through you. Don't die with your music still in you. Within every person lies a unique melody, a set of gifts, passions, and dreams that no one else can express in the same way. This music is your purpose, your calling, the essence of who you were created to be. Yet many people move through life silencing that inner song, choosing comfort over courage and fear over faith. They wait for the perfect moment, the right conditions, or someone's permission to begin living authentically. In doing so, they allow their dreams to fade quietly into regret. The tragedy is not that life ends, but that so many never truly live before it does. Each of us has something special to give the world. It may not come in the form of fame or grand achievement, but in the everyday ways we express love, creativity, and kindness. The music within you could be a story to tell, a business to start, a relationship to heal, or simply a life lived with integrity and joy. To deny that calling is to deny the reason you were born. The soul does not find peace in safety or routine. It finds peace in expression. When you follow your inner music, you align with the energy of creation itself, and life begins to unfold in ways that feel meaningful and alive. Fear is the greatest thief of that music. Fear whispers that you are not talented enough, not ready enough, not worthy enough. It tells you that others will judge you, that failure will embarrass you, that you should wait until tomorrow. But tomorrow is never promised, and the song you refuse to sing today may never be heard. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite it. Every great achievement, every act of beauty or innovation began with someone who refused to silence their own melody. Living with your music still in you creates restlessness because your soul knows it was made for more. That inner tug you feel, that quiet voice urging you to take a chance, is life calling you to become who you were meant to be. The moment you begin to listen and act on that calling, fear loses its grip and fulfillment takes its place. Expressing your music is not about perfection, but authenticity. It is about allowing the light within you to shine even when the world doesn't understand it. When you let your music play, you become an instrument of inspiration for others, reminding them to do the same. You are the change. Every transformation that occurs in the outer world begins first within the inner world. It is tempting to believe that life will improve only when circumstances shift, when people act differently, when opportunities arise, or when conditions become favorable. Yet the truth is that the external world is a reflection of our internal state. The way we think, feel, and belief shapes the reality we experience. Real change does not come from trying to control others or the environment around us. It comes from aligning our own thoughts and energy with the kind of life we wish to create. When you change, everything connected to you begins to shift as well, because the energy you bring into the world influences everything you touch. You carry within you the power to transform not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Every act of kindness, every forgiving thought, every moment of gratitude ripples outward like waves on water. When you choose peace in the face of conflict, you raise the vibration of that moment. When you respond with love instead of judgment, you invite healing into spaces where hurt once lived. The most powerful way to inspire others is not by preaching change, but by embodying it. People learn more from your energy and example than from your words. Many people spend years waiting for change to happen from the outside in. They wait for a new job, a new relationship, or a new opportunity to make life better. But lasting transformation always begins from the inside out. When you cultivate a mindset of abundance, opportunities appear. When you live with integrity, relationships deepen. When you nurture gratitude, more things arrive to be grateful for. You become a magnet for the energy you consistently project. This is the law of alignment, and it operates in every area of existence. Being the change means taking responsibility for your inner world. It means no longer blaming circumstances for your unhappiness, but instead asking, what within me needs to shift? It is not about perfection, but awareness. Choosing daily to think, speak, and act from a place of love rather than fear. Every small decision, every conscious thought contributes to the world you are helping to create. As you grow in awareness, you begin to realize that changing the world is not about grand gestures, but about living truthfully in each moment. When you embody peace, peace expands. When you embody compassion, compassion multiplies. You are not separate from the world you see. You are an active participant in shaping it through who you choose to be each day. Transformation begins within. The outer world mirrors the inner landscape, reflecting what lives in the mind and heart. Many people spend their lives trying to change external situations, relationships, jobs, circumstances, without realizing that nothing outside them can truly shift until something changes inside them first. Every experience, whether joyful or painful, is filtered through perception. When the mind is clouded with fear, resentment, or doubt, even good things can appear burdensome. But when the heart is open and the spirit aligned with peace, even challenges can become opportunities. The power to shape the world lies not in control, but in consciousness. The moment you decide to change the way you think, speak, and feel, the energy of your life begins to rearrange itself to match your new vibration. Being the change the world needs is not about grand gestures or heroic acts. It begins in the small, quiet choices made daily. It happens when you choose patience over irritation, understanding over criticism, forgiveness over blame. Each inner victory creates ripples that move outward, touching lives and circumstances far beyond your immediate awareness. You become a source of calm in chaos, a light in darkness, a reminder to others of what is possible when love leads the way. Inner transformation is not something that happens overnight. It is a process of awareness, release, and renewal. It requires courage to look inward and honesty to acknowledge the thoughts and emotions that keep you bound to the past. When you realize that you are the change, you stop waiting for someone else to make things right. You understand that peace is not given, it is cultivated. Joy is not found, it is created. The power to shape your experience lies in how you respond to what life brings. Every moment is an invitation to rise above fear and to live from a higher state of being. The more you align your inner world with truth, compassion, and gratitude, the more harmony appears around you. People are drawn to that energy because it resonates with the highest part of themselves. The world does not need more critics or complainers. It needs awakened individuals who take responsibility for their vibration. You become a force of transformation, not by demanding change, but by embodying it. When you walk in love, speak with kindness, and act with integrity, you influence the world in ways that words alone never could. The collective healing of humanity begins with the inner healing of one's soul, and that soul can be yours when you decide to become the change you wish to see.